Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first episode of Nolan at Night. This is very exciting. It's been close to 2 decades in the making, but we are finally here. I am Nolan Thompson, and over here we have our wonderfully multi-talented Dylan DJD Smith.
How's it going, Nolan?
It's going pretty well.
It's going pretty well?
It's going pretty well. I can
That's
hardly
good.
spit out my words. I'm so excited.
Me too.
He's a pretty cool guy, and tonight we have our very first guest, Mr. Todd Stewart. If we had an audience, this would be the part where they would clap. So let's take a moment of silence for them. This is very exciting, though, for many reasons, but for me especially, as I recently discovered Mr. Stewart and I are relative homeboys. He hails from Longmeadow, Mass. I'm from Wilbraham, the home of Friendlies. I know they're 2 different towns, and we were high school rivals, but out here we're both just Western Mass kids. That apparently means one thing. We grew up without electricity and plumbing. Now that we have all that cleared up, without further ado, let me introduce you to our very first guest, Mr. Todd Stewart.
Every day I'm hustling.
How are you, sir?
Not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Very excited. Very happy to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We have a seat for you right here.
Wow,
Hope you enjoy that.
Nice. And it's comfy too.
It's absolutely comfy. New
Yeah.
sets,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
haven't noticed.
Yeah, very nice. Looks good.
So, we've been taking a little poll on our Facebook page, which you can like us on, and Nolan at Night. And we've been asking people, what was the very first thing you ever wanted to be when you were growing up?
Oh man, first thing. I need to clarify this. I definitely wanted to be a baseball player.
Yeah.
But the first thing that I ever wanted to be, I had a obsession when I was little, and it's kind of weird. I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but
this is the place to admit our embarrassing thing.
It was 3 Ninjas. I
Okay.
love the show.
Yeah.
I mean the movie. I love them. And
Yeah.
Rocky, Colt,
I'm
Tum
familiar,
Tum.
yeah.
They're the best.
Oh, yeah.
And
Kick-ass.
and I used to watch them. And what I do is I'd take these action figures that I had, these little ninja action figures, and I match them up to whatever they're doing on the screen. So
You
if they
got
were
the whole pose. thing going on.
and I match them up. So I'd have to say definitely that took up a lot of my time. Took a lot of my interest. So I'd have to say a ninja.
A ninja.
And to this day, I wouldn't mind being a ninja right now.
Oh, see, that falls right into the categories. We're getting superheroes and the Pink Power Ranger from the original, not those silly new ones. I mean, that's just
No.
I mean, Dylan, what you wanted to?
I've always wanted to be a hockey player. When I was little, I grew up the Mighty Ducks. That was my thing.
Are we talking Mighty Ducks like Coach Bombay?
Like Coach
or are we
Bombay,
talking like
Mighty Ducks?
like
Well,
a planes popping out of the ice rink?
No, it was Mighty Ducks, Coach Bombay, D2. That was my childhood movie. I used to
a good
watch
one.
that. Yeah, I used to watch. It's the greatest, worst movie of all time.
Damn Iceland team, right?
But no, I've always wanted to be a hockey player. That was my thing. And Wayne Gretzky, growing up, Ray Bourque. So I'd be a hockey player. I'd have my skates on right now.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, can you imagine a world where we're living and Nick Swartzen is a great stand-up comedian. I like to call him stand-up philosophers in honor of Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
He asked this very pivotal question. Can you imagine if we live in a world where you had to be that very first thing you wanted to be?
You'd be sunk.
Oh yeah, you'd be thinking about.
No, this world would blow up. Nobody would run this world.
No.
Everybody would be those like random mythical creatures.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like you do have, those occasional kids that want to be, our own crew member Nicolette wanted to be a teacher. So you do have those few people that want to fill those, logistically
necessities. Yep.
Yeah.
My good
I
friend
wanted
wanted
to be Tarzan. So the only good I'd serve society is by running around half naked with monkeys.
And you'd be arrested like that.
Like that.
Although
But
there wouldn't be
no
police.
cops.
Yeah.
There's no
There
cops.
wouldn't
So
be
I
police.
mean, it's the good life. Right there. Running around half naked. With monkeys.
And then I could, I could run around throwing my ninja
Ninja
stars and nunchucks and everything. And I'd be all
Everything,
set.
and then Dylan.
I'd just skate around and check people into buildings.
There you go.
Sounds like a lot of danger, a lot of
But no
aggression.
cops. So I mean, we're fine.
I'll argue though. I had a couple friends that wanted to be cops when they were little. They had the little
Yeah,
gloves
I mean-
directing traffic, and they didn't turn out to be cops.
The rent-a-cops.
The rent-a-cops.
The rent-a-cops, yeah.
Zipping around on their, what are those? Segways.
Yes.
The most
two-wheeled
dangerous thing
monsters.
on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Not the only thing. So, going on from that, from being superheroes, there's a little thing going on campus that you're being famous for, and that's your super attitude. People seem to find you to be the happiest person they know. I gotta ask you.
I appreciate
what's
that.
up with that.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, this is the first time I've ever heard that, and
This is all news to you.
yeah, I appreciate this. It's very flattering. It's my parents. They're the best. I love them. This is where it gets.
So it gets all emotional.
It's
That's
emotional.
the kind of show we are. We like to bring out the soul of our guests.
Honestly, I think it has to do with my parents, and then the way they told me to be.
Outlook,
Yeah. Like my dad. I'll never forget this. When I was little, him and I were my cat. Long story short, my dog was always getting into the cat food.
Okay.
Always, and so what my cat would do is she'd open up the door. She could open up the door herself.
Yeah.
She'd get up and pull the handle and go in where the cat food was.
Okay.
But my dog would know this, and she'd sit behind the cat and just sneak right behind and then eat the rest of the cat food. So what we did is we got a cat door where the cat could go through, but my dog couldn't. And so we're making this, and we have our door, and my dad brings it out into our backyard, and we have our jigsaw, and we're going to cut a hole. And he says, "All right, Todd, you're going to do this whole thing." Keep in mind, I was 12 at this time. I was little, and
he trusted with power tools.
Yeah, and he instilled this confidence in me that I can do this, and I can whatever I want to do. If I want to do it, I can do it. And what he did is he said, just complete it yourself, and I won't say anything. So he had me cut this door. This is a one-time shot, perfectly measured out, and I did, and it worked. And I'll never forget that to this day. I'll always remember that he just had that faith in me. So I think that small things like that I don't think majority of parents would trust their 12-year-old to cut a hole in the cat door, but I think he wanted to at that age, really show that he believes in me, and I think that's taken me.
I have to ask you a question. When you say cat door, do you cut it in a square, or did you go for the cat profile,
the perfect,
the
perfect with ears,
just so the cat could just?
If my cat was that talented, I would have done that. I would have done it, but no, just a square with a little flap door and a little magnet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But needless to say, my dog has kind of figured out how to squeeze through this thing.
Going on from that magnificent attitude, you, sir, are very famous among the ladies here on campus. I don't know if that's news to you, but from, I mentioned Todd Stewart, and I get the same reaction about 9 out of 10 times because the 1 out of 10 person that I ask doesn't know you.
Yeah.
The other 9 though do. And we get this look up to the ceiling as if the face of Todd Stewart is going to be there smiling, ready to wink at him, and that sigh is just that little disappointment that he's actually not there. So I got to ask you, what's your secret?
I don't know, man. Yeah, these are personal questions. I don't know. I don't know.
Show.
I don't know. Yeah, we're getting on these.
I've gotten that from guys too. I've gotten guys that you'd be in the room and they'd be like, "Oh man, Todd Stewart, he's the man," and then
The Todd.
Hey.
That's just what it is.
It's a phenomenon.
I don't know.
No secrets.
No secrets.
That right there.
Brush your teeth every morning.
Brush your teeth every morning, positive attitude, and always cut a square for your cat.
There you go.
So even with all your fame and notoriety among the men and women here on campus, I gotta ask, is there a lucky lady in your life right now?
No, there is not.
No. Ladies,
there is not. I am single. Wherever this camera is, I am single.
And available.
I'm on the market.
He's on the market, ladies. Yeah. And gentlemen.
And it's not the black market either.
And it's not the black market. This is legal.
Legal stuff.
Legal stuff right here.
Legal.
Grade A.
21-year-old. Legal.
He's Tupper. He's Tupper approved. Right there.
Tupper came by, he slapped me high five, said, "You are approved."
And then tweeted about it.
If you look, actually,
I got his paw print.
He's got his paw print on his back thigh, actually. It's a big black paw print, and underneath it's Tupper approved. It's, Made in America on the other thigh.
Inspected by Inspector, 134.
Exactly.
Someone.
134, good job. The ladies of Bryant approve, I guess. So, I guess something to be happy about is your recent experience with HBO this past summer.
Yeah.
So you're interning with them in New York.
Yep.
And I got to ask, one, how'd you find it? What was the course of action?
Well, actually, it was all networking.
Okay.
And I ended up bumping into this guy who was a producer, and I want to say related to him. I guess you can say related to him, where it's like multiple generations. But he's now a producer there, and I got in contact with one of my relatives. I've never met the guy before in my entire life, never seen him, never even heard of him, his name. But and then he said, what I'll do is I'll forward your name over to HR, and you can be put in the pool. So I went in and I interviewed, and then I went for a second round of interviews, and sure enough, I got this internship, and it was great. It was with HBO Sports.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was with Real Sports with Bryant, the boxing, and then the sports documentaries.
Oh, the boxing must have been amazing.
Awesome. And I went into the interviews, and I said, guys, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about boxing. I really don't. Yeah. And they said, that's okay. You know, we get people all the time that they'll come in, they don't know anything. But I trained, and I'll tell you, Vladimir Klitschko's my boy now, and I'm up to date.
So ladies,
on boxing.
If you can study up on boxing, you might catch yourself a Todd Stewart.
Catch my eye over here. Tell me I'm the new heavyweight champion of the world.
Whoa. So and then going into that whole your way with the ladies, do ladies man you? I gotta ask you about housing. Yeah. Was it something with your?
It was housing every other week,
or
different apartments. 1 weekend here, 1 weekend there.
Producer.
Do accounting, finance,
marketing.
marketing.
Away for a week, so the wife's home.
No, it was with EHS. All kidding aside, it was with EHS, which is student housing, and I lived there on 97th and 3rd, and it was right there on my 6th train that took me right to work. Was 2 blocks away, so I just woke up, grabbed my coffee, jumped on the train, got my paper. And got my Epic Times. If you live in New York and you walk out of Grand Central, you'll get to be best friends with the Epic Times guy, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you're there, because he's standing out, he's going, Epic Times, and he gives you all these papers, and the guy's the man. He's the nicest guy, and then it took me right to work. It was great living conditions. I had my own place, own studio. There you go.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, not bad.
So I'm gonna ask you what the pay was, and if you say, because I know Todd Stewart, he's this kind of person, if you say the pay was experience and knowledge, and then wink at the damn camera, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I was going to do that, but you took it. No, my pay was $10 an hour. I wish it was a little more.
$10 for like the month or something.
That's not bad.
And maybe the coffee included.
Yeah, free coffee, which was great. I took advantage of that. But it was $10 an hour for the whole week, and not bad. Not nearly enough to live in New York City on your own. Yeah. Not nearly enough. Yeah. But just enough to buy you lunch every day.
So that's I guess that rises another question, because you did pull this off. Yeah. So how did you raise that extra money?
The extra money to live in the city?
Yeah. Was it saved? Yeah, was it red?
Good question.
Good question.
I'm just saying, it's New York City.
Question. I'm in the hole. I'm in the hole.
Small.
Yeah, you never know.
No, it was. I'm in the hole now. It was. I invested it for the experience, and hopefully it'll pay off in the long run. Hopefully.
See, he's still weaseled in there. Yeah. The experience.
The wink.
Oh yeah.
The wink. There you go. Perfect. So on campus, you're also very busy. Besides your summer experiences with one of our top media broadcasters in the world, no big deal. But you're also involved with a little organization known as the Podium.
Yeah, the Podium.
It's not like I'm a member. Join us. I got to ask you, what got you involved with that cause, with that whole idea?
Well, if I were to really tell you the complete story, we'd be here for hours. But
we got time.
Yeah. But what it was I took Susan Barron's public speaking course, fell in love with it, and really realized the importance of public speaking and how, I switch it. Whenever I tell people, this is an important skill to have, I don't say public speaking. I just flip it around and say speaking to the public. Because that's really what it is. Yeah. It's having conversations one-on-one with 3 people, with 4 people, or getting up and giving a presentation. That's exactly what it is. So I realized the importance of it. I took Barron's class. I loved it. And then I realized there was an organization on campus called the Toastmasters. Okay. And that was an organization that was a public speaking club. They weren't going anywhere. They had awful leadership, and I will be completely honest, they just were really bad. So I took it over, and I wiped the e-board, put new people in, and I said, this is what we're going to do. And now it's grown into this.
Now it's grown into this epic proportional club that's just It's a blast. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a lot of fun. But you know, like you mentioned, you know, I gotta ask you, there was a name change.
There was. Yep.
From, as you mentioned, it was previously known as the Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and now it's the Podium.
Yes. Correct.
Now I'll tell you my story about the name change and how it affected me.
Yeah.
But what was the original reasoning behind the name change?
Well, it's just because Toastmasters, they have a service, and we were paying money for that service, but we weren't utilizing that service.
Oh, okay.
So we switched it and we stopped it. And
All right, now see, well, I was thinking about joining the Toastmasters freshman year because someone had told me that, you know, there's this club and it's public speaking, and I had done some public speaking back in high school, and they're like, you should really join.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what's it called? And they're like, it's the Toastmasters. And I looked at them, I was like, the Toastmasters? Like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And so I went back to my room, and like, I